Albany men's basketball team winning at Hartford on Saturday night, 74-61. You heard the call right here with myself and Zach By on 104.5 of Team ESPN Radio. Will Brown joins us every Monday morning to talk about his program and what lies ahead. And what lies ahead is UMass Lowell on Wednesday, and then the Big Purple Growl starting with the ferocious feast at 4 o'clock over in the PE gym. And normally it produces a sellout crowd, and the opponent will be none other than Stony Brook, one of the big rival games in the conference for UA. The head coach is Will Brown, and he joins us here on Big Board Sports. Good morning, Coach.
How we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Great.
Always a pleasure. Just had a nice chat with Coach Brown over at Mohawk Honda with Nick Bonarigo, the face and GM of Mohawk, as we recorded the Coach's Show, which I will give a shameless plug to, over on My 4 every Saturday morning at 11:30 with myself, Ashley Miller, and Chris Honorato. Will, dominating performance by your team at Hartford. Nice bounce back. I thought a nice bounce back win after the loss to Vermont on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I thought we did a solid job. Our guys were ready to play, and I thought our defensive energy was really good, which was nice to see. We're making strides on that side of the ball, and I thought we had good balance offensively. 4 guys in double figures, and especially on a night where Mike Rowley was sick, wasn't feeling well, was limited to about 15 minutes. I just thought it was a good effort. Anytime you go on the road in conference play, it's difficult regardless of who you're playing, and I thought our guys responded after a tough loss to Vermont.
Will, I think the headline clearly, Greg Steyer, local product, CBA, right here in the backyard, pulls down a Division I record, 15 rebounds for Steyer. Would have been nice to get him one more rebound on Saturday.
Yeah, well, Greg did a great job. His ball pursuit was tremendous. He was rebounding his area. He was rebounding out of his area, real physical on the glass, and, I thought he did a terrific job. I don't keep track of those things during the course of a game, nor does, maybe at the big-time level they do. We're just trying to win the game, and, he actually played till the final buzzer. We did go offense-defense with him the last 2 minutes of the game in particular when we thought Hartford was going to foul and when they were pressing. We took Greg out, so he wasn't in for a couple of possessions late, but, even if I did know, I wouldn't have coached the game to try to get a record. Greg should be commended for his effort. Watching the film, we watched it again this morning after we filmed the show over at Mohawk Honda. We watched it again, and Greg just was all over the place. And I think we can get more games like that from Greg, even though it's very difficult to get 15 rebounds in a game. But I think we can get, that 10, 11 rebounds from him if we can keep him on the court. He has a tendency to get in some foul trouble. And, the more he's on the court, the more nights he'll have, like he did against Hartford. He was really, really good. And he did it on the offensive glass and the defensive glass, which is nice to see.
Will, when it comes to Greg, he's obviously a 518 product. He's a CBA guy, played for Dave Domel. But this was a kid that, didn't have a bunch of scholarship offers coming out of high school, right? And I think even thinking back to, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was a kind of a, you're gonna be on the team and you're gonna maybe like pay your own way your first year, and if it works out, we'll have a scholarship for you next year. And he's blossomed into this terrific rebounding defensive presence for you. Do I have that story right as far as just he wasn't wildly recruited?
Well, he wasn't recruited by many Division I programs, and I think part of the reason, he played for a really good AAU team, obviously in the City Rocks. But what happened is, he was the lunch pail guy. He was the guy. Think about this: in AAU, who wants to defend? Who wants to rebound? Who wants to set screens? Right. Who wants to take charges? Who wants to dive on the floor? I'll answer that for you. Nobody. Who wants to get baskets? Who wants to break guys down? Who wants to impress the college coaches? Everybody. And so Gregg just went out and tried to help his team win. As you guys know, I'm a little bit different. I really try my best to recruit fit, toughness, and, our initial thoughts with Gregg were, hey, we're going to bring you in your first year. You're going to redshirt, and then you'll play for 4 years. And I think what happened is Gregg brought that toughness and that physicality from the minute he stepped foot on our campus, and he was impressive early on in workouts and in practice, just doing the little things that kids don't want to do, defend, rebound, screen, and obviously he impressed me. And then we talked about, hey, we want you to play this year. Are you okay, with playing? And if he said no, then we would have continued with the thought that, hey, you're going to redshirt. And but Gregg, obviously being a great kid and a team guy, having been, very well coached at CBA under Coach Domel and used to winning, and he just wanted to help his team any way he could. So, he was thrown to the fire right away and responded early on in his career, and, has had some really good games. And, he's a guy that I don't have to worry about as far as he just rolls up his sleeve, goes to work, doesn't say anything, just competes and does what he can to help our team win. And there's not enough guys like Gregg out there.
Will Brown,
and I like the fact that he's a local kid as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. The local flavor is really, really nice, and I know you try as best you can to recruit the local kids.
Well, you know what, Roger, I don't mean to cut you off. I mean, if you're a local kid in this area, all you have to do is look at Gregg Steyer. We believed in Gregg. All right, some people have said, oh, you took a chance on him. Well, you know what? He took a chance with us, too, and it's worked out. And then Joe Cremo is, a rare type of kid nowadays where he didn't play AAU. And Joe's here, New York State Player of the Year, thriving. Big isn't always better. Highest level is a reason why the transfer rate is so high in Division I basketball. So, if I'm a local kid and I want to win and I want to have an opportunity and I want to go to a place where local kids have thrived, there's one place to go, and that's our place.
Well, second half of the season, ready to roll. I know you weren't, 100% happy with 4-4. You feel like your team is better than that win-loss record. What are your expectations for the second half of conference play, starting Wednesday night against UMass Lowell and then Stony Brook on Saturday?
Yeah, to keep making progress, move forward, learn from the first half of conference play. I think when you get to the second go-around in conference play, opposing coaches especially, have a better feel for their teams and a better feel for the opponents. There's more film out there. So I'm looking for us to, a game like Lowell, where we lost on the road early in conference play. I'm looking for us to realize where we struggled, how we struggled, why we struggled in that game. 90% of it was on the defensive end of the floor against a team that can really score and has a kid like Jahad Thomas, who will be a Player of the Year candidate in our league. I'm looking for progress. Did we grow as much as I think we've grown from the first time we played Lowell? Are we going to learn from our mistakes? That's the type of thing. And then, it's not just the games that you struggled, the games where you had success. Why did you have success? Can you duplicate that? The opponent makes some adjustments. How do you respond to that? So it's, constantly learning, but I think the biggest area where we've made strides is on the defensive side of the ball. I think our individual one-on-one defense has gotten a little bit better. I think our team defense has gotten a little bit better. Offensively, outside of the Vermont game, we've been fine. And also, even though Vermont did a good job defensively, we missed a ton of shots within 6 or 7 feet of the basket. So I'm just looking for us to continue to grow and develop, not take any game for granted, and just continue to get better. I do believe this time of year, teams have either reached their peak I think there's a lot of teams that are packing it in this time of year because they're struggling. And then I think we're one of those teams, in my opinion, that will continue to get better because I don't think we've reached our ceiling. And, I think our kids believe we can get a whole lot better. And now that we're getting some good offensive balance, I think that helps, quite a bit. And just got to continue to plug away on the defensive side of the ball. But I think we have a chance to, be obviously a better than 4-4 team on the back half of the conference schedule now.
And UMass Lowell is next on Wednesday night. Coach, thanks for a few minutes on Big Board Sports. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.